Imagine fuel without fear. No climate change. No oil spills, dead coal miners, dirty air, devastated land, lost wildlife. No energy poverty. No oil-fed wars, tyrannies, terrorists. No leaking nuclear wastes or spreading nuclear weapons. Nothing to run out, nothing to cut off, nothing to worry about. Just energy abundance, benign and affordable for all, forever. That richer, fairer, cooler, safer world is now possible, practical, even profitable. Because now, saving and replacing fossil fuels works better and costs less than buying and burning them. In Reinventing Fire, we at Rocky Mountain Institute are mapping and will drive the business-led transition from oil and coal, and ultimately natural gas, to efficiency and renewables. We claim to have an advanced industrial economy, and yet it is run on primeval swamp goo and dinosaur poop. Surely there must be some more modern way to do it. Reinventing Fire aims to find out.
I think that business is going to be the thing that we use to actually cause the biggest changes in sustainability. But Reinventing Fire to me would mean changing the rules of the game.
We have a lot to do. We need some new great companies. We need some Netscapes, Amazons, and Googles of the green.
I think it's something that we have to look at because we need radical breakthroughs. And when you're looking for a radical breakthrough, you can't just depend on luck.
Reinventing Fire can't just be a theoretical exercise or a pretty picture of what could happen. We have to help make it happen. So we have to think through end to end this entire chain of activities from what is possible and what makes sense and what makes money to actually bringing it into the market.
So when we think about Reinventing Fire, let's take a step back and say, what's the size and scale of the issue? This is more than just a doubling that's needed, more than a tripling. If we just triple renewable energy in our country, that's 4.5%. That's nothing. When we look at automobiles, you know, there's a goal right now of 1 million PHEVs, 1 million plug-in hybrid electric vehicles by 2015. That sounds like an enormous, great goal, but is it? That only represents 0.4% of the US fleet of cars, 250 million cars.
We're in sort of an interesting point of tension right now where there's a whole lot of enthusiasm because almost every automaker is working on a plug-in program, and yet it takes a few years to get them from concept to market.
It's quite straightforward to triple the efficiency of cars by making them lighter weight but safer through better materials and design. This is starting to emerge now in the strategies of Japanese, European, and perhaps American automakers. And we see companies like Ford, Nissan, Audi, and the Chinese industry leading a lightweighting revolution based on a variety of materials. The shift off fossil fuels to efficiency and renewables means tackling and vaulting a whole lot of barriers. But each of these 60 or 80 barriers can be busted, can be turned into a business opportunity, because if you fix it and your competitors don't, you get the business.
We've got to think even more scalable types of solutions, more audacious. So I think if we want to reinvent this kind of sector, it's really taking a step back and saying, wait a second, this is not about a doubling or a tripling or even a quadrupling. This is about 10x, 100x, 1000x. That's the kind of perspective I think we need to get where we need to go in the time frame that we have.
The new things should be exceptional. And if they're exceptional, then they have a chance of becoming a whirlwind, you know, of becoming just a virally adopted, a new thing. That's a real challenge because they have to be really substantially better or they're not going to make a difference.
After 3 years, the money that I'm saving goes into my pocket. That's a simple argument for anybody. It's not a 20-year proposition, it's not a 10-year proposition, it's not a 7-year proposition, it's a 3 to 5 year proposition. Because this is the Empire State Building, it is the world's most famous office building. So while we have that focus, we're not only improving the position for ourselves, but we're also creating the, hey, I want that reaction in a lot of other landlords and a lot of other property owners to say, what do they have that we don't have? Oh, what do you know? It's energy efficiency.
The best way I know to get a good idea to market is to spread it around and get the various manufacturers concerned that their competitors are going to do it first. We use competition to do our outreach.
It's getting a little bit easier because more and more companies are announcing programs, and that's certainly a whole long way from not very long ago when all we had was press releases. But at the same time, it is trying on any number of levels to keep consumers and individuals in general believing that they're a part of this.
Some of the policy support and consciousness is there at not just national but state and local level. But what is mostly missing is a vision that it is possible and how all the pieces fit together. By providing that, I think we will help to mobilize many existing actors that are eager to do something and don't quite know what. It may not be obvious to everybody now, but I think it will be in the next few years as our synthesis seeps in, like if you drop a seed crystal into a supersaturated solution and suddenly it takes on a whole new form. It's just waiting for that crystalline idea to drop in and give new shape to our ideas. Well, this is, I think, exactly the position that we will be in when we release Reinventing Fire, and we hope that you'll help us to get there.